Hello, welcome to Texas Style Cuisine. Glad you joined us. Today we're going to be cooking up a dish in our Dutch oven, and we're going to be using some coconut charcoal, a new product from CampMaid that y'all need to be checking out. But anyways, in our Dutch oven today, what we're going to make is we're going to make an enchilada casserole. To get this casserole started, what we're going to use is a 12-inch Dutch oven. I have my CampMaid oven we're going to use today. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to brown off our hamburger meat, our onions, and our bell peppers. We're going to saute those along with it. So let's get that done. This is a 16-inch Lodge cast iron skillet we have here, and it is nice and hot. And it's been oiled, and we're going to drop in 2 pounds of ground chuck. It's an 80-20 mix. We don't want this too fat, and of course we will drain it afterwards, but we'll start breaking this meat up here. I tell you, this old Lodge skillet, it holds the heat good, it spreads the heat real good. But we're going to just spread this burger out in here. Try to get it browned real well. Once we're about, I'd say about halfway browned, we're going to dump in some of our other ingredients, and then on top of this, what I'm going to use is I'm just going to use some Fajita seasoning. This is my own Fajita seasoning that I put together, and it's a real good seasoning. If you have one you like, then by all means get it. What I recommend is, if I'm not using my own, you will see me use Bollner's Fiesta brand. They have an excellent Fajita seasoning. But I'm going to season that up real well, and we're just going to keep this moving, stir in those seasonings, and see if we can brown this hamburger meat. Meat's browning real well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in an onion. This is 1 onion chopped. It's a white onion, so it'll have a little more bite to it than if you used a sweet onion. If you don't like these white onions, by all means use a sweet onion. And I got 1 bell pepper. We'll stir both those in, let them get to cooking also. Now that this meat is pretty much brown, right here at the very end, I'm going to drop in some cilantro and just cook it just enough to wilt it. And once this cilantro is wilted, we'll get this off the fire and get ready to start making our pan of enchiladas. We're going to start putting this casserole together, and the first thing we're going to do is this pan's been oiled. I'm going to take some tortillas, and what I'm going to do is just drop them in here in the sauce. So that they're coated good with sauce, and I'm going to lay them down in there. One thing we want to make sure is that bottom is nice and moist. We do not want it to dry out. We're going to get all of our enchiladas, we're going to get our tortillas in here. There we go. Now, this enchilada sauce I have is from Lawry's. By all means, use whatever brand you like. We like Lawry's brand, and I do make a homemade enchilada sauce, but this is really one of our camping recipes. This is great for going camping, so it's a lot easier to just carry a package of Lawry seasoning with you. Some people will even use the canned enchilada sauce. I don't think it's that tough to carry a little water and some tomato paste with you to make this Lawry's, and it is just a whole lot better, I feel like. So anyways, there's our first layer. Now we're going to start getting some meat in there, and we're going to alternate our layers until we get this filled up. Now we got a layer of tortillas, so let's go with some ground meat. We're just going to kind of do about 1/3 of this ground meat. With our ground meat, I'm going to put in some whole kernel sweet corn. And all this recipe will be down below so y'all can see how we did that. But there goes our sweet corn. And now I'm going to put in some whole green peppers. You can buy these packages, or these cans of green chilies. And you can get them mild, you can get them hot. You can get them whatever temperature you want. You can get them medium. Anyways, but that's going to make one layer of green chilies here. And I'm going to put some cheese on top of that. And this is just a Mexican blend is what I got. I want this to be real cheesy, so we're gonna put plenty of cheese in there. I'm gonna add some sauce. Here we go. Just gonna ladle that on. Doesn't have to be exact. When this starts heating up, it's gonna spread out in there. A little salt. Let's add a pinch of salt to that. All right, there's one of our coated tortillas. And broke a little bit on us. Now if you want to do this traditionally, you want to do this at the house and you want to soak these in oil, you can sure do that, and that helps soften them up real good. Or some people even use corn chips to do this dish. You know, they'll use some Doritos or they'll use just regular corn chips, which I guess that'll work too if you wanted to try that. Never have tried it, but just because I tried it, haven't tried it, don't mean it don't work. Get some more beef in here. And I don't know if y'all can hear that, but it looks like the neighbors are having target practice again. I hear a pistol going off over there. Hear that? They're shooting at me, one or the other. All right, there that goes. Now, the next thing is this layer. I'm going to put in some beans. And these are just regular old Rosarita refries. Nothing special about them. If you wanted to warm these up first, they might spread a little easier. Mix them with some water or something. My beans, they're in there. So I'm going to come back with some more corn. Then on top of that, we're going with another big layer of cheese. A few more tortillas going in here. And you don't have to use red ones. I like red ones. When I was a little boy, my dad was taking us all out to dinner one night, and he kept talking about this place had the world's greatest enchiladas. He loved them. They were the best. Well, we got there, and those enchiladas they had were red. So now I just kind of associate red tortillas with good enchiladas. Reminds me of my dad too, I guess. So anyways, got that in there. This is pretty much done. We're going to add the last of our meat. There's our meat. Last bit of our corn. And one thing I failed to mention a while ago is that on our enchilada sauce, instead of, it calls, 2 packages would call for 6 cups of water. Instead of putting in 6 cups of water, I use the reserved, the juice off the corn and off the green chilies. That's just going to give us a little bit of flavor. And I added a little bit of Knorr Tomato with chicken bouillon to the rest of that water. So let's kind of spread that sauce around. Last little bit, cheese. Now, casserole's together. We're going to get it inside of the, or get fire on top of it. And we're going to see if we can cook this up. Let it cook for about 30 minutes. Let's get this charcoal up on top. This is a 12-inch oven, so normally I'd have about 15 up on top. This is supposed to cook hotter. We're going to see if it does or not. See how many I got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's about a dozen. So if it does cook hotter, we should be able to make it with a dozen instead of 15. We're going to let these sit for a little bit. Cook 15 minutes. We'll come back, spin her around, and let it go another 15. It should be ready. Now it's been about 15 minutes, so I'm going to make a spin. Remember, do not pick the lid up. You pick the lid up, you lose heat. You don't want to do that. So, made that turn. Pick it up, turn it back. These I always want to read CampMaid at the top. That way I know. My other lodge, the ones that reads lodge, to keep lodge away from me. So I read it. That way I know my lid is spinning. Rotating the pot this way, the lid that way. Don't get any hot spots. Another 15 minutes, it'll be done. We'll take it off and see how it turned out. Let's uncover this and see what it looks like. Now it started to brown up a little bit on top, so that CampMaid charcoal got good and hot up on top. We went with that 12 up on top, had 10 on the bottom, so went about 22 instead of the normal, about 26. To do it, went through the whole cook, still had a lot of charcoal left over, but this casserole looks nice. And it is ooey and gooey, it's been boiling. We're gonna actually let this sit for a little bit so it'll firm up, but it looks like it's good. So we're gonna give it a try here real quick. Thanks for stopping by Texas Style Cuisine. Sure do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this CampMaid video of my Dutch oven cooking an enchilada casserole in a CampMaid Dutch oven, also with a CampMaid charcoal. I tell you what, we did a lot of CampMaid tonight here. Anyways, go down there and give me a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Tell your friends about us. Share us on your social media. Also, look for the links below. I'll have the recipe down there. I'll have a link over to CampMaid, so you can go down there, give them a look, see if there's any products of theirs you can use. And if you use Chef Johnny at checkout, they'll give you a 20% discount. So go check out CampMaid anytime you can. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Share us on your social media. Tell your friends about us, and we'll see you down the road on Texas Style Cuisine.
Sitting by the wagon when the sun come up this morning, bacon, eggs, and coffee, biscuits, and beans. Cookie strikes the bell and he rings the world a warning. How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.